It's Sunday the 26th of January in the Vendée Globe, the skipper's 77th day at sea, and the top 9 are now safely in Le Sable d'Olonne, with the next 2 expected in today. We hear dockside from Nico Lunven, Justine Mettraux and Sam Goodchild, and then hear from Boris Herrmann, who is preparing for the next Atlantic storm as he makes his way towards Le Sable d'Olonne. And then from Jingkun Xu, who has to make his way up the mast for the 3rd time during the race, and it looked like a serious ordeal. And then we hear from Conrad Colman, who had to find a leak which was causing over a ton of water to get into the boat every day. We'd then take a look at the tracker, the leaderboard, PredictWind routing options for Sam Davies as both her and Boris approach this next Atlantic storm and what their options are, and then finish off with a clip from Kojiro Shiraishi as he approaches the Equator.
4 exceptional skippers finished today, all welcomed by the huge crowds in Le Sable d'Olonne. A wave of arrivals with 4 consecutive channel passages, reflecting the incredibly high sporting level of this 10th edition. First through, Nico Lunven, who achieved a remarkable 6th place in his first attempt at the Vendée Globe. I've accomplished my mission, job done, a solid performance. I fought hard all the way through. I had a blast. Jeremy and I sailed a huge part of the race side by side. It was great fun to push each other. I'm very happy with 6th place. Thomas Ruyant behind him finished 7th. The skipper of Vulnerable was among the top favourites. Despite several unexpected challenges and a fierce battle with his rivals, he never gave up. My initial goal was really to play with the front runners and aim for the top positions. I don't think there's anything to regret. That's also what makes this race so special. In the end, you can't be disappointed. I've never dropped my intensity, even when problems arose, and that's something I'm proud of. Always in control of her race, Swiss sailor Justine Mettraux takes 8th place. She becomes the first female sailor and the first international competitor in this edition. It was intense. The weather sometimes allowed me to catch up. It's great to finish so close to the pack, sailing in amongst them. I'm really satisfied with what I've achieved. British skipper Sam Goodchild, Thomas Ruyant's teammate on Vulnerable, rounded off a memorable day by securing a spot in the top 10 of this Vendée Globe. When I left, my goal was first to finish, then to have fun, and I had a blast. Mission accomplished, so I'm happy.
So of course I am very happy to be there. It was of course there was some very nice moment, but also some difficulties to face again. So very happy to finish the race. Finishing the race is already a kind of victory for myself, but I think for all the teams and our sponsor.
Yeah, it's just really nice to be here today, for sure. As always, when we finish a race, it's first the team, and I had my 2 sisters also joining on the boat, so it's a nice moment to share that with them first. And then it was incredible today. It's Saturday afternoon, it's sunny, and it was amazing the amount of people who moved and joined to just to salute us, and that's crazy, and it's really nice.
It's a bit strange, it's a bit crazy. I feel like 3 minutes ago I was by myself, and now there's hundreds of people around. We came straight into the channel, and it's been a bit crazy. And the Vendée Globe is a success. I went there to make it all the way around the world, finish the race, and enjoy myself. And I managed to enjoy myself almost all of it, apart from the last week, which has been pretty complicated. But it's I don't think I've even realised it yet. It's gone so quickly from being on by myself and now being on the dock. It's just gone so fast.
We are ready for the storm. The sails are stacked aft here, and I've plugged the storm jib in. I've checked a bit all over the boat, and here we go. Maybe the last quiet evening of this race. Quite enjoyable. Cheers, guys.
好了，现在已经到达30米高的桅杆顶端了。我的妈！给大家看一看。然后我现在正在做一个装置，来 释放掉船帆自重100多公斤的重量，才能从那个 poke 上把它解下来。所以我准备了2个大的滑轮组，因为这个帆在上面非常重，所以要把它拆下来可不是一个容易的事情。今天是1月24号，然后这是我第3次上桅杆了，在过去的3天里边，这真是太可怕的工作了。这3天过得非常的艰难，也是忘带当中非常辛苦、非常危险的3天。上桅杆，你看30米高的桅杆，又要再爬一次，哇，想想就是噩梦，真的很让人崩溃。但没什么办法，我现在必须要把这个0号帆给降下来，再上去一次。昨天上去以后，已经修复了，已经解除了第1个后壳，然后现在第2个后壳又被卡住了。好了，我们现在看我们的0号帆就被卡在了桅杆的顶端，现在下不去了。这已经是我第3次上桅杆来解决这个问题了，连着2个后壳都出现了问题，真的太让人太崩溃了。哇，我上来以后现在已经筋疲力尽，手都是软的。好了，现在我要开始工作了，我要赶紧把这个帆给释放下去，想办法。非常的麻烦，这面帆自重就100多公斤，在30米的高度。要想把它解决，可不是一个容易的事情。而且现在船一直在摇晃，然后船还在移动。所以不能出现任何的故障。啊，记录一下，这瞬间真的很难。我真的不知道来忘带干什么了，这个太难了，他妈的！一个人现在孤立无援。每个动作都必须非常的精确，都要在脑袋里构思很多遍，任何一个失误都可能是致命的，所以必须要小心一点。另外还要求老天爷保佑我们，还需要一点运气。老天爷保佑我们。好了，开始工作了，不能再给大家拍了。
You see that? That's an empty ballast tank. Let me tell you, that is exciting. And that's exciting because there's been so much wind and so many waves crashing over the boat these last 3 days that this ballast tank on the leeward side was filling up with water up to 4 times a day, and that was 1.5 tons of water sitting on the leeward side. And so I was spending my time pumping, trying to checking all the valves and connectors and things, trying to figure out where the water was coming from. Once I discovered where it was, from one of the aeration vents, I then had to try and stop the water from coming in, and I had various unsuccessful attempts to do that. Now I've fixed it. That's because I slammed a wooden bung into the hole and hammered it in, and now the ballast tank is dry. And this time has been seriously uncomfortable. It's been incredibly varied. You know, that we've had winds as low as 14, now I've got 28, and it's been gusting up to 48 knots. And so I really don't know what kind of sail plan to use in that. But J3 and 2 reefs, which is pretty conservative, and kind of works as a good in-between for all of those crazy conditions. But the sea state is super bumpy, really uncomfortable. I feel like the boat is suffering a little bit. I'm certainly suffering. You know, I can't sit down and relax. I can't sleep properly. I'm feeling pretty drained, actually. So it should start to feel a bit better, at least tomorrow. And as we head our way northwards, up towards the anticyclone, then of course, the wind will drop. And I hope the sea state too, because less wind than this with these waves would just be awful. So, it's not terribly fun right now, but it's good for progress, I guess. So wish me luck.
In 10th and 11th place, we can see coming across the Bay of Biscay in strong winds over 30 knots. We've got Benjamin Dutroux with 126 nautical miles to the finish and Clarice Kramer with 196 nautical miles to go. In 12th and 13th, we can see Boris Herrmann and Sam Davies. We're going to take a look at the PredictWind options for Davies a little bit later, and we can see how she has taken a loop to avoid the strongest of these winds. And also Boris Herrmann has taken a little bit of a hitch to the east. The winds look really vicious as to what is going to happen across the Bay of Biscay, so it is fully understandable as to why they are hanging back. With the group from 14th onward, we can now see that Roman Atanasio is beginning to get the effect of the North Atlantic weather systems, while we have got Isabelle Joschke, Damien Seguin and also Giancarlo Pedote are really in the effect of this transition between those trade winds and the North Atlantic weather systems. And we've got the leading daggerboard boat Benjamin Ferret just about to enter this light wind zone, which is the transition. If we look just towards the back, we've got Jean Le Cam listed as ahead of Conrad Colman, but I don't think that's the case. That's just due to him being closer to La Sable d'Olonne as the crow flies. I think at the moment that Conrad Colman is still ahead of Le Cam. Girek Saudet is making good progress now that he's in those North Atlantic trades. And next to cross the equator is Kojiro Shiraishi, who we will hear from shortly, but he is really in the doldrums at the moment, that intertropical convergence zone. And you can see it's really affecting them right on the equator at the moment. A little bit further back in the South Atlantic, we can see Antoine Cornic, who's slowly making his way up that Brazilian coastline. He's right beside Eric Bellion, who's actually abandoned. He's pulled out of the race, but is making his way back to La Sable d'Olonne. And then we've got Oliver here, and also Jingkun Xu, who we heard from up the rig. On the leaderboard at 0600 hours UTC, we'll first of all take a look at those recent finishers. We've got Jeremy Bayou, who finished in 74 days, 12 hours, 56 minutes, 54 seconds. Paul Miha, who finished in 74 days, 22 hours, 38 minutes, 15 seconds. Nico Lunven, 75 days, 7 hours, 49 minutes, 41 seconds. Thomas Ruyant, who was 75 days, 16 hours, 47 minutes, 27 seconds. Justine Mettraux, 76 days, 1 hour, 36 minutes, 52 seconds. And Sam Goodchild, who finished in 76 days, 2 hours, 1 minute, 45 seconds. Benjamin Dutroux and Clarice Kramer expected in today. Not too long for them to go, so really hoping they make it safely across the Bay of Biscay. SailWorld.com's New Zealand editor Richard Gladwell looked at the PredictWind routing option for Sam Davies, and you can see why she's hanging back. This is a serious storm in the North Atlantic. Those blacks are winds above 50 knots across the Bay of Biscay, which would be boat breaking.
はい、1月25日です。風ないです。朝からね、ご覧のように風が弱いですね。本当はね、明日赤道をね通過する予定なんですが、どうかな、厳しいですかね。今日はね全然走ってないですね。まあここ 2,3 日ね、予報よりもかなり走ってくれたんですよ。でも今日はちょっとね、このダラダラペースなので非常に難しい感じです。最近ね、僕あんまりスコール当たらないんですね。パラパラっとは雨は降るんですけどもね、スコール当たると1時間ぐらい船止まってしまいますのでね、バーッとね強風で走った後すぐ止まっちゃうんですよ。それが辛いんですが、ご覧のように雲も、赤道の雲というよりドヨーンとした高層雲ですね、が多いですかね。はい、ということで、もうちょっと風欲しいですね。はい、なんとか明日中に赤道を越えたいと思います。で、夜ね、明け方、昨日はね素晴らしかったですよ。南にね、南十字星、なんと北に北斗七星が見えました。嬉しかったです。北斗七星が横たわってね、だから本当に南に南十字星見えて、北に北斗七星、いよいよ北半球に帰ってきたなというような、もうすぐ北半球だなっていう 感じですね。星って一番自分の位置がね、分かりやすいです。はい、ということで、この弱い風の中、はい、一生懸命走ってなんとか明日中に赤道を越えられるように頑張りたいと思います。それではチャオ。
Thank you very much for watching today. Please do subscribe to our channel using the button down here, and take a look at sailworld.com and yachtsandyachting.com, where we continually bring you the latest news from the world of sailing.